Looking out from the inside. Looking out from the inside.
So today we're going to make a song using Scalar 2.2 to be precise. And as of June 2022, that is the latest version. So the other day I made a song using Captain Chord's Epic. And this is kind of a similar way of making music where you can choose chords and you've got all the backing and tracking and bass and all the melody and stuff that goes with it that just matches the chords. And you can do something similar with Scalar. The main difference for me between Captain Epic and Captain Scalar is that Captain Epic seems to be a full production suite. You can make an entire song using Captain Epic, whereas Scalar I think is more a tool to sort of help you along your way. And the other thing is with Captain Epic, it seems to suggest randomized ideas, whereas Scalar has a fixed set of ideas like a library that you can go through and select. I'm going to sort of explain the process. I'm not here to train you or to teach you how to use Scalar, but hopefully you will learn by watching me make a song with Scalar, and I'm hoping to learn things myself. I don't know everything about Scalar. Let's give it a go. At some points I'm going to put my microphone down. I have to use my microphone with my hand because I've broken the stand that came with it, so I'm not able to do anything but hold it with my hand. So I'm kind of producing with one hand, and sometimes I'm going to have to put the microphone down, but hopefully that's not going to irritate you too much. So let's get cracking. So first thing, obviously, we just pull Scalar 2 into empty MIDI track. The first thing you'll get is some lovely piano sounds if you haven't seen this before. And you've got kind of all of these different ways of selecting chords. And the two most typical one for me are artists, some really cool artists in here. But I prefer using songs, all right? So I like just, when it says songs, it kind of means, I think it means genres. You've got these kind of common progressions, which are really interesting ways to create music. So if you want to say create a ballad, you can click on ballad and click on any of these different variations of ballad. If you want to make a happy song, click on that. If you want to make a longing song, I want to make something a bit dancier. So either going to be house, EDM, possibly disco, but my favorite tends to be this one, which is 70s funk and soul. There's some really nice chord patterns in there. Also like neo soul as well, but let's just give this one a go and just see what I'm feeling. You know, if you feel it, that's what I think is going to work. So let's give that a go. So you just audition the chords like that and have a think about whether you think you can make a track out of that. So just go to the next one. Keep going. And this one here. Yeah, I like that one. So, okay, typically what I will do then is just drop the chords into the MIDI track of Scalar, so it retains that sound. I'll just keep this here, just up here, so I might want to use that chord later. And we've looped that already. Let's just hear how that sounds. Nice. So it resolves really nicely. Sounds pretty nice. I'm going to Control J, consolidate. That's now consolidated into one. And I'm just going to legato it so there's no gaps in here at all. So what I tend to do then is, once I've got my chords, I just tend to duplicate the track. By the way, I'm in Ableton. I'm assuming other DAWs, you could do the same thing. Just quickly duplicate the track. So we've got the same chords playing, and then we're just going to click on, under performance, we just click on bass. So we're just going to get our bass track going and change the instrument. So it's a bass guitar, retro bass. And we just stay with the basic bass and see how that sounds. Now you can start auditioning, right? So we just go to basic 2 and listen to that. that's the one. So we're just gonna stick with that one for now. I mean, this can always be changed. You know, there are other things you can do, like you can change the grouping, you can humanize it. There's you can swing, you can apply swing, which you might want to do. Depends on the genre. You can affect the timing. We're just going to leave that just at its standard. So I'm just going to get a third track in there, bring a different instrument in. Let me see, what do we want to, let's bring a synth in, but I'm not exactly sure which one to bring in. Let's just bring this plucky one in. We'll select a melody and we'll just try different melodies. Lots of motifs and color. Let's just start with the basic one. I actually like that. But I don't really want to choose the first one because I guess there will be millions of other people in the world choosing that from Scala as well. Let's just try some different ones. Let's try a motif. Try a different riff. Slow it down a bit. What Scala doesn't have, which Captain Chords does have, is beats. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to. Well, not unfortunately. I like making beats, so we can have to make them with the beat, the kick, the drums, all that sort of shit. We're gonna have to do that ourselves, which is fine because I like doing it with my favorite tool, which is Kick 2. Kick DOS for Spanish people. So just so the way to use Kick 2, I mean, it's not a Kick 2 video, but you may as well show you. Let me just create a little empty MIDI track. Make sure it's looped and just spread it across the whole thing. And then just start playing with the sounds. I don't really like that sort of wet sound. So just change the sounds here. And then you can just sort of change the length of the sound. So stick with that sound there. And what I like to do then with kick is to duplicate kick, and it's just so easy. So you just take the first and the third sounds away from kick, and then you bring in a snare sound. This is all going to be changed, but it's just really to get a feel for the arrangement. It's a pity we can't audition the sound before we play it, but let's just go anyway. So we're literally now going to put kickstart on every track. We do that on every track, and then we take them off as needed. So I like this sort of strumming. Let's listen to it. So what I'm going to do is go back into Scala and bring those MIDI tracks into these boxes. and then click on drag the MIDI. I'm going to drag it into here. That needs to be expanded in size. So I'm going to just do that like that. Now, now we're going to do the same thing with the bass. We're going to extract the MIDI, click on this MIDI capture button. It's just going to capture and it's going to record the MIDI that we're playing. So let's just start now. So let's drag that baby onto Repro and hopefully it's going to sound okay. Let's just solo it first. So I'm just going to put a few effects on that bass just to give it a bit of extra punch. So I'm just going to go into Repro and start looking at the pad that we recorded before, the polysynth pad, and we're going to look at the filter, which I love the filter on this. So we've got the first part of the verse, which is a bit softer and it's got that sort of deep house bass thing going. But then the second part is going to be more sparse, just to give it more impact, but the bass is going to be tweaked just a touch, so you can really feel the bass. You'll know what I mean in a second. I'm going to do it now, so just show you. So that thing I said I was going to do before, which is to move the chords just slightly forward, I'm going to do that now, just to give that sort of a bit more of a disco-y feel. So you can hear how different it sounds from the original piece, which isn't too bad in itself. This one is mellow and probably could do with a piano sort of track. I'm going to do that now, actually. By the way, I use this plugin a lot. It's called Keyzone Classic and it's free. I paid a lot of money for a grand piano from Contact, whatever, and just continue to use this one. So that's really cool, and for this other piece here, I want it to sort of be more staccato-y. So I'm going to bring an arp in here. This arp is extremely useful, just for getting sort of, it's not for the arp itself, it's for the chords. So we just got a chord trigger. Chord trigger is just really useful because you've got all these different gating and rate options. So once you mix that with a bit of reverb, Now let's listen to it. Now we're gonna bring the filter back, I hope. Yeah, so the filter's too much. That's fine, we're gonna change that. So we just need a little bit more on the beat now. So I'm just gonna go to my trusty sample shit. That's samples. Where are they? Here we are, VNDs. I love this. I don't know what it is. I can't remember when I bought it, but it's really good. VND. I forgot what it is. But it's a good sample pack. Just want to get some top drum loops or hi-hat loops. Here we go, hi-hat or perk loops. There's just so many to choose from. So just like with anything, there's you've got to experiment when you bring in loops like this. Just want to change the transient on it as well. So in this section here, there'll be more contrast. I'm going to duplicate. That's the bass, right? Let me just check. Yeah, it's the bass. So I'm going to just duplicate that. We're going to bring in a synth. The synth is called Spire. There you go, Spire. So we just duplicated that there, and we're just going to bring Spire in now, just for this sort of section here. Spire's got the best plucks. Not from hearing that, but I'm telling you, it does have the best plucks. They just come with Spire. You can buy packs and shit, but it's just, once again, it's experimentation. See how things sound. Now we want Spire plucks just to be slightly off where the bass is, or just on the offbeat. So we're just going to take everything that we've done and just move it a bit to the, nudge it a bit to the right. So while Spire's got the best plucks in the world, it's got the most annoying effects. You have to always switch the effects off. Let's just hear how this sounds. Now, in all of the excitement, I've lost track of what key this song is in. Let me just see if I can find it. The key. What the fuck is the key? I think it's an E. Oh no, Scalar will tell us. Scalar will tell us the key of the song. It is indeed, the first chord is at least in E minor. I don't know if that's the key, but that's fine. So I think there comes a point where I make the music where I've got all these different sections, then I need to bring a vocal in or some other focal point, because it's very difficult for me to finish a song without vocals. So we're going to do that now. Splice is your friend. If you don't have Splice, it's not too expensive, and if you really want to make good music, Splice will help you. So you don't need it, but it's got some really good samples in there, and it's really good for getting vocals. Right, so after a bit of searching, I found a vocal from Splice. So these vocals are really just exist for me to build a track instrumental around. I don't tend to use them in releases. In fact, I very rarely. I used to when I started, but I don't anymore. So what I'm going to do is just build a track around this kind of vocal because it helps me to arrange a song basically, and could replace it with a real vocal later downstream. So let's just mess with this vocal for a bit, and I'll show you my the way I do it. So I had to get the pitch down to match the song.
Looking
basically.
out from the inside, I find myself in you. Looking out from the inside.
I like a bit of shimmer on vocals, as you can tell. Going to just bring that plugin in, play around with shimmer.
Find yourself in me. Looking out from the inside, I find myself in you. Looking out from the inside. Looking out from the inside.
So I want to put some side chain on the vocal. So to do that, I need to return track, and I need to bring that. I need to bring these into the return track, and put a kickstart on the return track. You're probably thinking this looks mental, and it is a little bit, but let's just hear what it sounds like without the shimmer. Let's bring the shimmer up a bit, actually. Bring the mix up. And then without, and then with.
Find yourself in me. Looking out from the inside, I find myself in you. Looking out from the inside.
Now the break comes in here.
Looking out from the inside. Looking.
All right, so I think the bass still needs a bit of changing, so bear with me.
From the inside, looking out, I find myself in you. Looking out from the inside, from the inside.
So I've been pretty quiet up until this point because I've been just rearranging things and making some space in the song. But before you know it, I've got 2 minutes of a song, which is just fantastic in my opinion. And this all started from Scalar. So that's pretty much it. I'm not going to really go too in deep here. I just wanted to show you how you could really get started with Scalar and how you can build a track, bring some vocals in to anchor the track and just build around that. You take the vocals off And in fact, you know what I'm going to do for this track? I'm going to take the vocals off. I'm going to write a vocal track and get a vocalist onto the track. And when that's done, I will put a link to it. I don't know when that's going to get done, but I'll put a link to it at the bottom of this video. You can actually see how the song turned out. So that's it from me, and I really appreciate you spending time here with me. If you like videos like this, I'm going to do quite a few more because I really enjoy them, but I need subscribers because otherwise it just doesn't feel like I'm sharing so much. I really like sharing with you guys. So once again, thank you very much for sticking with me, and until next time, ciao.
Looking